Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're here to look at new eyeshadow quads from Vive. Vive, of course, I have spoken about before, is an independent British, Scottish namely, brand from Jamie Genevieve, who's a makeup artist and all-around very beautiful lady and very talented. She has released 4 different eyeshadow quads. I have picked up 2. These are called the Soul Shadows, the Vive Soul Shadows. Here in the US, when you convert it to US dollars, we're talking $39 a palette. Her formula is exceptionally good and it keeps getting better. I loved her 90s cool toned eyeshadow palette that I reviewed a while back, and these quads are, if possible, even better. Super soft, super silky, and beautiful. We're going to try on the 2 I have, one of which I'm wearing. I picked up the shade Lure, which is all in pinks, and I picked up Noir, which I'm wearing now. Now I have to be careful holding this one up. Actually, all 4 of the shades arrived broken. Now, I do not blame the brand. It had to, I'm making a mess here with the black shade. I don't blame the brand. You know, it had to travel across the Atlantic Ocean and then probably straight across the United States out to me in California. It's a heck of a trip for a little eyeshadow palette, but I do love it. And oh my gosh, is it a mess. I have black shadow just kind of everywhere. This stuff, it's potent, but it's so soft and so usable and so beautiful. So as long as it isn't broken, these shades are just lovely. I mean, it's a sensual experience to put them onto the eyes, as I sometimes like to say. All right, there are also 2 other quads. There is a Terra quad, which is kind of a warmer brown quad, and also Burn, which is kind of a red orange. I stayed away from that one, but it really does look pretty with Jamie Genevieve modeling it on her website. All right, let's take a look at these and do some swatches, both in studio and regular lighting. Natural lighting, I should say. Again, Noir, which I will hold up very carefully, and Lure, my beautiful pinks, which I can be a little more heavy-handed with when I hold it. All right, first in studio lighting, obviously different between Lure and Noir on my arm there. In studio lighting, very pretty. But I really want to take this outside into natural lighting so you can really see the depth and promise of these shades and how beautiful they are. There they are outside on my arm. And once again, I don't think it's the brand's fault when something travels that far and breaks, in a way, because the shades are so lovely and supple and smooth. They're kind of prone to that. But it is a bit of a bummer, and I'm trying to decide whether or not to mention it or not. I did purchase it, so, you know, I probably will. Let me also put in a word for this beautiful casing here with the lovely little gold placard that says the brand name Vive, and this really kind of pretty, shiny, almost lacquered black case, and of course a mirror inside that's currently covered by the little mirror protector. But it's very, very pretty. Now I want to go to the demos where we are going to try out both of these and then discuss. Okay, let's take a look at the Lure palette. This one won't get any sort of eyeliner, unfortunately, or mascara. This is the one I want, though. You know, you guys, I love these pinks. So let's start with this shade here, and they do have names, which I'll put on the screen. This is just a really kind of pretty peachy, rosy shade. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels to me like Vive is really kind of good with these peachy, rosy shades. I am wearing the blush, the Vive blush, for instance, the liquid blush called Rosa, and it's kind of a apricot-y, rosy shade, kind of like this. And I happen to love those kind of shades, so that really appeals to me, and I'm just putting this really pretty formula. And see with the blush how that really, really, really works. Kind of both in the same shade family. And I'm going to go here into this deeper shade. This is just a Sonia G Kiyaki brush, and I'm just going to go here and just kind of darken. I like that they build on each other, as you see here. And then there is a little sparkly version of it. So we're going to use that too, of course. And then I'm going to go here into the darkest of the 3, same brush, no use to make brush laundry, and just kind of put it on the edge. And of course you could go in and be a lot more spectacular with that. Going to switch brushes and take this darkest shade and go underneath the eye just a little bit. That is really pretty. And super excited to take my finger into this lovely metallic shade and just kind of go into the center of the eye. And that is, again, that peachy, rosy kind of combo shade that ends up kind of just really working quite well. Let's see what you think. Let's take a bigger, fluffy, clean brush and just kind of soften. It's a little bit 90s to do that, but that's okay. Let's just kind of soften the top here so it's all kind of blended out. Again, like I said, it's a little bit retro of a look, but with shades that kind of grow on top of each other and kind of multiply in hue and intensity. I kind of like that look, and I think it's actually really pretty, especially with the blushes of the same tone. But let's get into this, what I think might be quite a very nice evening look with our darker shades right now in the Noir palette. Let me take this off. Stay right there. Really excited to try this palette. Now I do have to be careful because the poor little thing has been through it on its trip from Great Britain to the US. It, poor thing, has definitely seen some better days. So I do have to be careful. Let's start gently. I think all four of them are broken. So let me just start really gently with this kind of gray shade here. And I'm just putting this over the entire eye. This is going to be a much more dramatic look than the last little pinky shaded palette in Lure. This one is rightfully called Noir. It's a very kind of evening look, I would think, although there are no rules. Let's see, I'm going to use the same brush, a Lotus brush from Sonia G, just to put that in. That pretty already. Okay, let's take the same brush. We don't need brush laundry. And let's go into this beautiful brown shade here and just kind of hit the corners with it, just to kind of deepen them a little bit. Okay, and let's run the shade underneath as well. See what we think. Very pretty. This leaves us the black shade and this really pretty silver shade. So I'm going to keep this little small brush in my hand. I do have to be careful because this poor little palette is just really suffering. And I'm just going to really kind of go along the edges of the top lash line in a purposefully clumsy manner, just to kind of be a little bit smoky. Which I think really, really works. And then I'm going to very carefully, this is so soft and so pretty that it's just pretty much fallen apart on me. And I'm just going to run this shade with my fingers. I don't actually think that this has any sort of fallout, doesn't appear to. So I could use a brush really. And I'm just going to take that, and I think I will go in here with a slightly fluffy Sonia G brush and just kind of spread that out a little bit because it doesn't appear to have any sort of glitter. It's much more of a metallic shine. That's so pretty, isn't it? For me, this is evening. For you, it could be middle of the afternoon. And I think that's a-okay, actually. But for me, kind of a really pretty evening look. Maybe I will contact them. This is so hard to use because it's so broken up. And I think I would really rely, I mean, that is, and I didn't even do it carefully, you guys. I was just playing with them here on camera to see how the shades work. But that is a very pleasing look, I think. These formulas are absolutely lovely. I would really be excited to see the other shades as well. There is something about this, the Vive brand, and of course the core fans of the brand have said this forever, but it's just kind of catching more and more steam, isn't it? And the formulas are just lovely and getting lovelier. For those of you who watch me from Great Britain, finally something that you can get in your country, because all I ever hear from people in the UK is Wayne Goss is British, Pat McGrath is British, and it's just so much easier to get their stuff in the US. How could this be? Charlotte Tilbury is still very easy, of course, to get in the UK, but this Vive is really originating in the UK. I'm the one that's ordering it overseas. What a nice change for those of you in continental Europe as well, but especially in Great Britain. A beautiful brand with a really talented woman at the head of it, and Absolutely lovely stuff. I really, really recommend that you grab this either on the Vive site if you're in the US. Cold Beauty also carries the brand. Just really, really pretty stuff, and I'm super happy. Let me know what you picked up, if you picked up these same two or any of the other two. All right, well, let me know your thoughts because that's what makes us a community. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can keep growing. Come say a big hello and give me a follow on Instagram and on TikTok too. And you can support the goings on here by becoming a member or by giving super thanks, which so many of you have done. But if nothing else, I'm just thrilled to have you here and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.